that. I need to work on transitions. Be ready for this nonsense. Yes. Hello and welcome to the Kino Corner, where we talk about the very best in movies, news, and trailers from a certain point of view. I am the Kaiju Kid. I'm joined here with Lex.
Woohoo! Hi, everybody.
Yes. As you see in the bottom right, we're talking about the Knives Out trilogy of movies, which is Knives Out, Glass Onion, and Wake Up Dead Man. That'll and before we get to that, we have our normal preamble, of course, to talk a little bit about some of the trailers that came out, a little bit of movie news. I don't have as much as the last time, considering last time was Comic Con and everything came out, and this feels kind of just the follow up. So the trailers I have thoughts on, but nothing major comparatively. So without
That's
further,
okay.
yeah, it's always okay. It's always good to have a more chill time than prior. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the movie news. The first bit of movie news. This honestly, well, actually, this I only have three bits of movie news to talk about. They're all smaller in scope. One of them is an update. Well, two of them are smaller in scope. One of them is an update. I just wanted to bring this up because it reminded me that it wasn't there already. Neon Genesis Evangelion is going to be part of the Criterion Collection. And just like when certain Godzilla movies were added to Criterion, my first thought when I heard that was, wait, it's not already? Like, have you ever seen Evangelion, Lex?
That would be a big fat no.
I recommend it. Okay, so it is a series that I saw it at a young age, and I probably shouldn't have seen it at a young age.
Oh, geez, it's one of those.
It is there is some. This is a series that kind of taught me that at least to some degree I am an empath because how do I explain this? The Avas, the mechs that they pilot, basically as part of the weird things to pilot them and all the history, all the stuff behind them. Basically, everything that happens to the mech, the pilot feels. It creates it more seamless. That's why they move so weird. Well, move so fluid, I should say. Is because it's kind of 1-to-1. It's not like, oh, if the mech is shot up and then then the person just has to like get out of the controls and flee. It's not like that. But
Okay.
it is one of the most horrifying scenes in the entirety of Evangelion to me. Was not in the finale, not in the movie, even though there was a pretty grim one in the movie. There is a scene where people think an Ava kind of went rogue. It turned out to be an angel kind of possessing it. But what nobody was telling the main person, there's a lot going on, and they didn't find out till after the fact. But basically, they they thought it was rogue, so they went full brutalized mode on this thing. Ended up ripping limbs off and just stabbing it through every bit, only to find out there was somebody inside the entire time, and they did not survive.
Oh, okay.
So I watched that thinking and it's knowing that the person in there felt every bit of that, and it's just like, I mean,
Rough.
yeah. It is not a it's not for the faint of heart. There is mecha action, and honestly, I on a my personal thought of Evangelion is I find it really freaking weird that we conflate it to Godzilla as much as we do as a society.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Like if you go to Japan and like even some parts in America where there's a lot of like Evangelion X Godzilla merch, even hell, there's Evangelion X Hello Kitty merch. To me, this is up there with like conflating Bluey with fucking Elm Street.
Oh God.
Like tonally different in every capacity. Why are we
Very.
conflating A and B? Like that's up there for me. Like the only loose fitting connection anything has with like Godzilla is the director of Shin Godzilla was also related to one of the Evangelion projects. That's it. That's literally it. And you can't just lean on the but the giant mech, giant monster thing. There's 10 million giant mechs in fucking Japan, and about
Yeah.
well over half of them relate better. This is just weird to me. This is I don't care if it's a popular thing. At some point, we need to look at the fucking uh, subject matter at hand and just think, maybe we shouldn't take the anime that's just about existential trauma and a lot of religious
Crisis.
symbolism and just conflate it with silly kaiju movie.
Mhm. Yeah, that's probably not the best idea to do, especially given the Godzilla fandom.
Now I do say that knowing that some of the Godzilla movies are like that, but I it's a small drop in the bucket, and also yeah, it yeah.
Hmm.
But I do want to clarify. I do think it belongs in the Criterion Collection. I have this sensationalist view of what the Criterion Collection is, or what rather it should be. I think the Criterion Collection, what it should be, is like these are not just the best of the movies, but these are the movies that we as a society like they're things that have made such an impact in some way or another that they deserve to be remembered because they were either of the highest quality allowed us to make a substantial step forward in the art of filmmaking. So yes,
Yeah,
quality is a factor, but it's not the only factor. I think
agreed.
I think Evangelion is a quality show that did help bridge the gap from like anime into North America. That's kind of why I think yes, it well deserves its spot in the Criterion Collection. But my view of the Criterion Collection would also allow for something. I do think the first Matrix movie should be in the Criterion Collection because even no matter how silly we look at it or how silly it appears or looking back as cheesy some of the lines are, it was a landmark movie in special effects. Like it basically set the tone for not just memes, but just how special effects operated in cinema for a decade. That
Yeah.
feels important. No matter how silly a movie is, if it made this important step, it should be remembered. Like pop culture is an important, quality is important. I there's a lot of quality movies on the Criterion Collection from the olden days, but I don't know. Maybe we need to
Hmm.
recognize that there's some new stuff, and like Evangelion is deserving of this. That we deserve to remember because they put that much of an impact on like film, but also just pop culture as a whole. Like so, my personal feelings of Evangelion aside, I do think this is well deserved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you don't know much about Evangelion. I
I don't, and I don't know much about the Criterion Collection, so I'm actually looking at it now.
like the Criterion Collection in market is basically just like the best of movies, but nowadays
Yeah.
it's kind of it's become more of just a distribution company that's just
Uh-huh.
how do I put this politely? Some of how they word everything is a little pretentious.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing. I
yeah,
do see No Wiley on their website though, so I'm all for that. I love that man.
yeah. Like I said, there are movies on the Criterion Collection that are well deserving of being on there. Like if I were to make a new collection, like a new Criterion or I don't know a new name for it or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it needs to be overhauled and changed to a degree so we reconsider what the Criterion Collection actually is. It also include foreign movies. I mean, this should be a global thing. America isn't the only fucking country making movies. Yes, Hollywood is
Yeah.
here, and And I know that statement aside, a lot of the movies that have made popular just moves across the world are produced in America. I am well aware of that fact. That doesn't mean there is not good movies coming out of Bollywood. That does not mean there's not good movies coming out of Japan. One of the most popular
Mhm.
and influential freaking monster movies in the world came from Europe. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
we need to be more open to just what other countries are doing, and I feel the current state of the Criterion Collection is they're they're really begrudgingly including things from Japan and only things that have had distinct American distribution. So
Hmm.
conceptually, I agree with this being on. That it is a well deserved. Not every anime deserves to be on the Criterion Collection. Evangelion deserves it. Like I know, and I always try to keep in mind of what the Criterion Collection is supposed to be, as opposed to what it actually is currently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on that for too much. It's just more of a minor piece of news followed by an opinion. But
Hmm.
next piece of news here. This is kind of a follow up to in the last podcast we talked about how the production for the God of War series was kind of put on hold because of an injury to the main actor, and now there's talks of having him replaced with Dave Batista. I I like Dave Batista. I think he is a much better actor than a lot of people realize.
Yeah. I like him. I've seen him in a couple of different things and he does a good job.
And I say this with as much love for both of these actors as I can. I just don't see either of them as Kratos. I love the God of War games. Like the God of War and God of War Ragnarok are easily my favorite PlayStation 5 games. I love both of them. I love the story involved. I still look up some of the scenes from Ragnarok because they still, oh my god. Like if you want to see an emotional story, oh my god, so good. But I just I try to imagine there's the obvious thing of Dave Batista going, boy. Like, he has the build, kinda, but I think that's literally all he has. Like, Kratos is one of those characters that you have to have a very specific inflection, and you need to be able to make minimal facial movements tell a story.
Yeah.
And Dave Batista's a good actor. I think he's a better choice than the last guy. But I don't quite see it. Like
Well, in my defense, I don't know anything about the God of War games.
it's okay.
Um, but just based on the two pictures that you have on the screen,
Yeah.
I would imagine like the build a little bit different.
So yeah, like the picture on the right, that's who they had cast originally. The guy who broke his hand. That's him in full makeup. And
Okay.
it bothers me that you could, even though he's just kind of scrunching his head because of the way the paint looks, it looks like he's wearing a bald cap. But that's
Yeah, it really does.
but
I yeah, I don't like that
that's
look.
the thing. The costume looks like Kratos. Like I, I, when you look at Kratos and watch him, I really recommend like there's compilations of basic people condensing the a playthrough of these games into a movie. I if you don't have any interest in playing the God of War games, which side note, I don't want to talk about games too much on this because it's a movie podcast. Side note, do very great games. There's
Mhm.
they are worth it for the story. They are worth it for just a good gameplay. Wonderful games. But if you have just no interest in playing them at all, seriously watch the movies. Like watch the movies online just so you can see the full like just some of just the acting alone. Oh, it. I also I will acknowledge I am a bit biased of who's like Godzilla is my favorite franchise of all time. I'm not shy about that. God of War
Mm-mm.
holds a very special place in my heart because, and there's some unheard of kaiju kid lore. When I first got a PlayStation 2 on my birthday one year, God of War was the first God of War was the very first game I played and beat. It was
That's cool.
it was my very first PlayStation game. I have followed the series ever since. The only ones I have not played are the ones on PSP, and I know that that alone makes you sound like a fake fan. But I didn't have. But a PSP was ungodly expensive at the
Hmm.
time. But and I do have plans to eventually replay, not replay, but just play the games I haven't. But I have this
Yeah.
I have this perspective of I played through the first three God of War games where they were more action based, and I played through the second ones which are more narrative based. And let me tell you, there's expansions in God of, and a free DLC in God of War Ragnarok, and the story there. But
Hmm.
my ultimate point is they're clearly following the new game story that is intensely narrative driven. There is a Even though Kratos may look like a simple character, there is a lot behind him. You need to be able to convey a novel's worth of emotion and information with the most minimal movement of your face.
Yeah.
Like, and I know on paper people will say, "Oh, Kratos is just this gruff guy." Yes and no. It's the point of the new games is he's complicated, but like I don't want to harp on it too much. I yes, I
Mhm.
prefer Dave Batista than the other guy because I know he's a more of a known factor. I know he's a better actor, and maybe with the right director, he can give a performance that is a little at least passable.
Yeah.
But with my current biases and and everything factored in, I'm just I feel like somewhere there is a better choice, and I'm not just talking about the guy who plays him in the games. I'm not, because that gentleman is much older, and he is not fit for the physical demand of what they're asking for here. He's only built
Yeah.
for the voice acting. It's
Understandable.
like he's not an unhealthy man, but yeah. Um,
Well, we don't want him to break his hand like the other guy.
Exactly. If this guy who basically plays in war movies and whatnot and does a lot of like like very tense things, ends up breaking his hand, it tells me two things. One, that they're putting a healthy amount of action in this series. Good. Uh,
Hmm.
but two, that maybe Kratos requires someone who is extremely built for the role, and I think that's why they're going with Dave Batista.
Yeah.
Like, it, I know some people joke, "Oh, just have The Rock be Kratos." I would write. I'm sorry, no, I no, like
uh, Based on what you're telling me, I don't think The Rock would have the right personality for the character.
no. I don't think Rock could play anybody in the God of War. Honestly, and Dave Batista, if he were to play anybody in this entire franchise, it would be the barkeep in the Dwarven City. If you've played Ragnarok, you know who I'm talking about, and now you can. I want you just to picture him with the monocle and the hat, and he's basically already that character. Like it, like that's who. If I were to cast him as anything,
Yeah.
on it, actually, you know what? No, I would. This sounds heretical. I would see him better as Thor than Kratos, and I know that sounds really heretical considering this is like accurate Thor, red hair and everything. But like, I'm going off of the build of the actor and their personality and what I know they could do. Like it, I, but
Hmm.
I don't know, man. we'll see. I'm not going to give any final judgment on this until I see a trailer. And as of recording this, there's not a final confirmation on if they're going to move on with a new actor or who that actor is going to be.
Yeah.
We just know that they're talking to Dave Batista, and the fact that they're talking to somebody, it does not bode well for the hand injury of this other actor. And
Yeah.
but yeah, just wanted to give an update and just clarify my thoughts on that.
Hmm.
Next piece of news. This one is a bit bigger. I briefly
Yay.
mentioned this a while ago, ever since it was a concept, but now we have more or less confirmation, and this makes me so happy. Um, Mike Flanagan and Henry Cavill will be part of a Amazon produced Warhammer 40K show. It'll be a spin-off of they did that extra level show where there's basically a whole bunch of shorts themed around games, and there, if you haven't seen it, the Warhammer one that was produced for it was phenomenal, and the series they're producing shall spin off of that. And great, fantastic. We have Mike Flanagan involved, which I know you are a fan of, Lex.
Yes, I love that producer. He has made so many interesting, very in-depth shows. I I've already admitted this to Sam, but I know next to nothing about Warhammer 40K, so I can't really say in regards to that, but I can say that he does do a lot of works that are just very, they make you think, and he adds so many different layers to his work that I think it'll be really good.
It, honestly, layers are good for this series. I There's not an easy way for me to explain what Warhammer 40K is. Like, I've joked about it with friends of mine who do know. There's a Warhammer 40K is a series that you could simultaneously joke about the absurdity of it all, but you could also just lie in horror, just the existential terror of everything, and just how morbidly grotesque certain factions are and what they do to. There's literally a faction of people who, or just beings, I should say, that power their entire city with the with torture. Like their entire
In
civilization.
that aspect, I think Mike Flanagan is going to be the perfect choice for those more grotesque scenes. I mean, if anybody has seen any of his works like Gerald's Game or um, like
I've seen
Doctor
Doctor, yeah, I've
Sleep.
seen Doctor Sleep. The scene where the one dude, I know there's a term for it in the Stephen King novel, where basically I'm just gonna say, where a guy dies and turns to smoke, and all the other ones
Yeah.
around it. That whole sequence of just the where he kind of breathes in and out of it, and he just kind of like
Mhm.
slowly, like that is kind of the tiniest sampling of part of how bad it could get in Warhammer 40K. Mm,
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting on how they want to portray it for the show. Um, but they definitely have a very good producer to really bring out those more intense scenes
mm.
and to really bring out the grotesqueness without it being overly vile.
And it's also going to be accurate because the other name attached to this is Henry Cavill, who has proven multiple times in multiple interviews that he is a colossal freaking nerd.
And that is very helpful.
He is a colossal nerd, especially for things like Warhammer 40K. Like honestly, it bothers me a little bit. This is unrelated, but well, it relates to Henry Cavill and not to Warhammer. But it bothers me a bit that during production of like the Man of Steel and some of those movies, there was a lot of basically headbutting between Henry Cavill and the showrunners because they would try to get him to do a scene or do something, and Henry Cavill would be like, "But no, Superman doesn't ever do this. That's kind of messed up." And they're like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine." No, it's literally not. Like you can't have him like there's a lot of pushback from Henry Cavill because he knows these characters like deep down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be helpful for the just to pull out from the games and
Oh, well,
everything
that's the
the
beautiful part.
true being of the characters.
That's the beautiful part about this. You could pull from the games, you could pull from the books. Like, if I were to guess, considering we know he plays Custodes, this is probably going to follow a single Space Marine chapter and just kind of go through their like daily lives, and everything. Because yeah, even that
Yeah.
could be a bit messed up. Like, I, I I'm trying. I don't want to like just give stories about things that happen because my go-to stories for Warhammer 40K are like the silly ones.
Of
Like
course they are,
I
Sam.
love this. Like okay, I'll tell you what. My favorite story in the entire Warhammer 40K just history that I know of. There's countless books and countless stories, but there's a faction called the Tau. The best way to describe them is weeaboo space commies. Um,
Oh God.
they're everyone's in a mech suit. They're in a literal see they're in a literal authoritarian government ruled by a single person. There's different castes. Everything is for the greater good. Um, they're very neutral. Now they're the setting. There's another faction though called they're the orcs. All of them talk like this. They do.
Oh
Every
jeez.
and the fun here's the fun part about orcs. E-
They're orcs.
every single orc in Warhammer 40K is psychic. They are all psychers, which means they all have these wonderful mental powers that literally change reality to their whim. Unfortunately, they're all too stupid to realize it.
Yeah, I was about to say orcs are not known to be the smartest.
So, but the problem is their psychic powers still manifest if they believe something to be true, it will be true. So there's jokes around the orcs where they all go red ones go faster. Where if they paint something red, not only because they believe it'll go faster, it will go faster. It is
Wow.
true. Yeah, it is true to an absurd degree. And there is a story of basically Tau commanders capturing these orcs alive, trying to get some information out of him. The orc ends up breaking out, going to the remnants of his fighter bomber. Which, side note, orcs are not smart. All of their vehicles are made out of scrap metal.
Oh no.
So he went to basically where they disposed of his plane, and it was just a fuselage. It was gutted, but the orc didn't know that. He just knew the plane will fly. So he literally rode it out of orbit.
See, if that worked in every game with
It
orcs, I think the game world would be broken.
is. That's the thing. In Warhammer 40K, everything is broken, and the part is there's an argument to be said that orcs are weirdly enough the ones that are keeping it together.
Oh my god. That is the worst.
Like
The fact that we're even saying that out loud.
yeah, the most recent lore development in the whole story of Warhammer 40K. I'll do this. I'll say this list bit thing, and then I'll move on from Warhammer 40K. But in Warhammer 40K, there's the Emperor of Mankind. He is basically the strongest human ever exist. He is so powerful. People do think he is actually a god. He is gigantic. He is like augmented with psyker powers. He is just the pinnacle of humanity. His psyker powers are so strong. He is actively preventing a warp storm, which I don't want to get into what that is. Basically, think about a wormhole to a asshole dimension opening up
Mm.
on Earth, like literally on Earth. But
Uh,
the Emperor is not alive? Question mark. He's basically condemned himself to immortality on the golden throne, where the shards of himself are scattered through the cosmos. The fragments of his psyche are only enough to keep the warp storm at bay, but but humanity does not have any guidance, and because of that, the Imperium of Man has done fucked up shit. But for millennia, it's been like that. For literal millennia, the Emperor has sat on the golden throne, not moving, not talking. And recently, he started stirring, eyes blinking and everything. And there is there is an absurd amount of evidence to the fact that the only reason he's stirring is because for the longest time the orcs believed that one day he would return and give them the most pure fight that they crave.
oh,
Do you see
okay
what you
then.
see what I mean? That like in a weird messed up way, the orcs are kind of keeping everything together, but they're great. Like, one, I think they're not even the greatest villains, but they're definitely up there.
But they're so dumb.
I know, and yet they're also one of, if not the most threatening force in all of Warhammer 40k, and the way their entire being works. Uh, my fanboy thing, whenever he was like, "Oh yeah, I think my guy would survive the Warhammer 40k universe," no. The answer is no. If any faction from the Warhammer 40k universe bleeded into another universe, you better hope it's the Imperial Guard, because if it's anybody else, they're taking over.
Yeah.
If a single orc spore landed on freaking Tatooine, the entire Star Wars
Oh
universe,
no.
would collapse.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not mocking Star Wars. I'm not doing it in this sort. I'm just saying you don't understand how absurdly powerful and grim this is. Like this IP Warhammer 40k. Hell, let's bring it back down to like the more realistic perspective. The guns the Space Marines use, the bullets fired from bolters are the size of your arm.
No.
Yeah, and oh yeah, that's their pistols, by the way. Space Marines are that big.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's great. That's great.
oh yeah, and
If
they're
that ever happens, just take me out.
yeah,
Just take care of me first.
yeah. Warhammer 40k is fucked up. I could go on forever about it, but it's move on to something else before I lose my mind here, because I have other things to lose my mind about. Because we
Yeah.
have a few trailers to talk about. Yay!
Yay.
All right, first trailer. Jumanji Open World. Um,
Eh,
okay. I, I it doesn't look good.
it, yeah, it okay. So in my defense, I've been open about this when we have talked about these movies, but I am a firm believer there is only one Jumanji,
Yes,
and that is Robin Williams.
I agree.
I I don't know why they decided to do this, and now the fact that we're on what is this movie number 3? This
Yeah,
is killing me,
I can't know if this
killing
is.
me.
I don't know if this is number 3 or number 4 at this point, but either way, it's too much. But I I will say this: I have seen the first of these movies.
I've seen the first. I
It's
stopped
not
there.
awful. It's just not that good. It's just kind
No.
of fine. It the whole. I literally just think to myself, man, why is this called Jumanji? But then I realized if it was called anything else, it would have flopped.
Mm-hmm.
It would have gone the way of
They're
Zathura.
just trying to make money by using the old name of a really good blockbuster.
Yeah. And the weird thing is that they could have really tied this in to the original movie. Like they're
They could have, and
like
they're not.
like
They've ruined it.
imagine if like Alan Parrish like grew up and started like a gaming company, and like one day he was
Yeah, they could. They had an entire backstory they could have worked with,
and like he made a
and
Jumanji
they did
game,
not.
and then for some reason like after he made the first copy of the board game, just he stopped hearing the drum beats forever, but he started hearing them from the game, so he hid it away. So then maybe his kids find the game, cue the weird adventures they had with the rock and everything. I'm just saying it was
Yeah.
possible. It was right there.
Uh-huh.
You could have like done something with that to at least connect it, but
Yeah.
it
And
just
now, because this isn't a spoiler, because they say it in the trailer, but like making them all be at a freaking default setting is so stupid.
the I look at these films and I try to be as positive as I can. So I do think that first Jumanji, it's fine. There's some scenes that I think for what it is, they tried. It's just for what it is kind of dumb. And when I watch this trailer, literally the only scene that gives me a chuckle is when they talk to Rock's character in the real world for the first time, and he has that
Yeah,
accent.
and yeah, and he's not. Yeah,
Is nowadays, of course you are, because I am
of
here.
course.
It's like okay, like play around their
That's
expectations.
funny.
That's funny. That's literally it. That's everything else is kind of.
Eh, I agree with you. I I don't think that this needs to go forward anymore. I hope that they stop.
Also, they kind of played their hand, and now we know the gimmick from the last movie is just going to be the gimmick that carries them on. If there's another Jumanji movie, I guarantee you, they're 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 gonna swap bodies again, and these four people are gonna act like somebody else. Oh my god,
Oh
so
God.
wacky! Even though there's only like
Here
two
we
of these
go.
actors where it's actually funny to see them act like somebody else, and one of them has made a career out of being a clown, Jack Black. But
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the visceral hatred for these movies. It's just I I'm just these trailers do nothing for me.
No, no, they don't. No. I I am scared for when I'm in like a senior and grandkids come to visit me and they're like, Grandma, we got to watch this movie. It's called Jumanji. Oh, did you enjoy Robin Williams? No, we watched it with The Rock. I'm taking my wheelchair. I'm going down the road to the nearest highway.
Oh, see, like if I already know if Providence happens and I end up getting with somebody and having kids in the future, and they start watching their stuff and whatnot. If something drastic happens where they like, it's like, oh, I'm watching a movie with Robin Williams, and I hear who, I'm immediately stopping everything, and my tone will drop. Like, what did you fucking say to me? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be the nicest old man until you say that shit.
Until you say that.
We don't disrespect actors in my house.
We don't respect the seniors in this house.
Feel like this movie's gonna get trounced on in theaters. Very possible. When is it coming out?
I think, was it Christmas?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this movie is gonna contend with both Avengers: Doomsday and Dune 3. No one's gonna see this.
Yeah, no way.
The no, actually no, that's not fair to it. Some people are gonna see this, but it's gonna be the parents who aren't.
It's going to be the parents that are forced to go and see it with their children
It'll be parents who
when they're
either
on
have
Christmas break.
yeah, it'll be parents who have either already seen Doomsday or parents who are just looking for something cheap to see.
Mm-hmm. To
So
entertain their children.
this at best will make its money back. I don't see this making a profit. So
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they stop at this point.
Yeah, I think they should. But no. Anyway, moving on from that.
Stay tuned for Christmas to hear the numbers that they make.
Yeah. But next trailer we're going to talk about is Prime Time. Have a seat right there, Lex.
Okay. Okay. This man, he has been popping up in more and more movies
He's a good
recently.
actor. He's a good actor.
I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. Okay. I cannot look at this man without seeing 2000s Twilight film right here. Like, just the look on his face is, oh, Bella, I'm watching you. I sparkle. I can't. I also did not really, like, I understand that this movie is supposed to be based on a true story, I guess.
Oh, it's based off of his show from way back when, To Catch a Predator, and just Chris Hansen's rise in primetime TV. It's like
it looks just so fucking weird. And again, it's an A24 film, and that just doesn't give me high hopes necessarily. Like, I understand they have made some okay movies, but when I've tried to go and see an A24 movie, it's always flopped for me.
Okay, here's the thing, and I'm conflicted on even watching this because of recent.
I probably won't.
And it's not because it doesn't look bad. I see this; it looks fine to me. It's not something I would immediately watch, but I would be open to watching it at some point. My whole thing, it relates to other recent news about A24 signing with Google to develop movie making AI.
No.
And I will say this PSA I gave last time. This likely does not affect the movies that are coming out very, very shortly for A24. The chances of it touching this movie are slim to none. But it really makes me question: do I even want to support that film company anymore? Which is a shame because some of these movies don't look bad. Also, on a side note, I recently saw a certain web slinger, and I'll talk more about that later on. But I watched this trailer and I was like, "Oh, that's where Flash went."
I see. I didn't get anything out of the trailer. It didn't really strike me as something that, like, oh yeah, I want to go and see this. And it's not only because I see this man on the screen and see sparkles around him from being a fucking teenage vampire, but like, it's not really my forte.
Oh, yes. Here's the thing. I am positive this trailer was meant to evoke specific feelings from people who either know who Chris Hansen is or have watched To Catch a Predator. Just the freaking grin when he was like, "You must know how this looks, right? Why don't you have a seat right there?" Like, this movie isn't going to be a commercial like box office hit. I think it will make money. I think it'll do fine, especially because all things considered, September is going to be dry comparative to other months later this year. So I think people are going to see this. I think this is going to be a movie they kind of weaseled in at the right time to at least make a small profit on.
Yeah.
So, but again, I don't know between my disdain for recent A24 business practices, but also even without that, this movie's kind of, do I want to see it in theaters? I don't know. Maybe something wait to streaming.
I don't know. The other thing is that every time I see an A24 trailer, I always get like, because I know that they've made horror movies. Most of the A24 movies I have seen have been horror movies. But like, even from this trailer, I still get like a horror feel from it. Like, you see that scene where his back is to the camera and it kind of looks like, based on the way that he's sitting, I was expecting like some spikes or like wings or something shit to pop out of him, even though I know that's not going to happen in this movie.
Oh, for sure. Like, no,
it's just a weird, like, A24 has given me the feeling that they don't know what they want to do with their company.
That's
And
probably a
so
good
they
way to
just
think of
go
it.
for anything.
That's I think you're right. They've kind of built up this legacy of kind of being for the fans, but also just leaning into some of their horror side and leaning into like the creator space. They've gotten some goodwill for that, but they're kind of losing that goodwill because you're right. The movies they're making are just kind of all over the place without any clear focus, and
Hmm.
and just of course, and there's the guy stuff. I don't so go so far as to say this is the downfall of A24. I know that feels very dramatic,
Yeah, I
but
don't think it's that. I think it's just they don't know what they want to do.
yeah, if nothing
And so
changes
they're
soon,
grasping at straws.
yeah, if nothing changes soon, I do see people turning away from A24, which is a shame. It's not, and it wouldn't be about the quality of their movies because again,
No, the quality
it,
is really nice.
yeah,
It's just a matter of the the actual films, the subject matter, and like how they're producing them.
right. No, no. I don't know if I want to see this in theaters. I'm kind of 50-50 on even seeing it at all. I just do think it's funny, just the concept of Robert Pattinson playing Chris Hansen.
I ugh,
Like,
ugh.
honestly, okay, honestly, have you seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, I know it's disappointing.
there's two actors who I think could do a decent Chris Hansen. Have you seen Community?
No.
Oh gosh,
I didn't really watch any of those.
I'm gonna I'm gonna find this actor's name because it's bugging me. There's an actor that I'm just like, you know what? I think he could do a good Chris Hansen. Adam Scott.
Oh, okay.
You know who Adam Scott
Hmm.
is?
Yeah.
Look up Adam Scott and then do a side by side with Chris Hansen. Like especially in the younger days, like younger days Chris Hansen. Like you see it though, right? Like he could do that Chris Hansen stare.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm not saying Robert Pattinson will do bad. I will defend him as an actor. Twilight aside, I've seen him in
No,
recent stuff.
I think he does better now. It's just
No,
ugh,
in this particular case, I
it
do.
just gives me an ick.
Yeah, in this particular case, I do think is like, was he the best choice? Like,
He was probably the only one that applied.
probably, honestly, probably. There's probably better choices, but he was not a bad one, and he was probably the best of who wanted the role. I
Hmm.
Again, no shame on Robert Pattinson. He's a much better actor than people give him credit for, but I 100% would believe that that's what happened. That they had other higher profile actors in mind that would fit just a bit more. But Robert Pattinson was just like, no one else wants to do it, and he could do good.
Hmm.
I believe it. But let's see the next movie trailer. Wicker. Um,
Jesus.
uh, it's
Sam, do you want to say it or should I say it?
horny. This movie is horny.
Horny. Very horny.
I
Horny Frankenstein.
I need to wash my soul after watching this trailer. Like,
I wasn't expecting to just be hearing innuendos and seeing like a sex scene in this trailer.
well, seriously, it's. I'll tell you the plot for those who don't get it. Basically, this lonely woman in this village gets the help of a woodworker to make a husband out of wicker that somehow comes to life, and they have raw wicker sex every night, and she brags about it, and the women
Yep.
love it, and the men are trying to get jealous. That is the
Yep.
movie, and I just
Horny
it
Frankenstein.
is horny Frankenstein, and it just gives this vibe that whatever this is was written by someone who is either really lonely or just is writing a story out of spite for like an ex-lover.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's mean to say, but man, that's the appearance it gives. Because after I saw the trailer, I was thinking about like how this movie could even end. I don't see a possible ending for this story that doesn't dip somewhat into just grotesque horror or just profound silliness.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure.
Like
I just I don't understand why this was made.
I don't understand why I kept watching the trailer to finish it. As soon as I saw the
I
first,
know. But I was like,
yeah,
well, I'm going on the podcast. I should watch it. And I
I
finished it and I literally sat in my bed for about 10 minutes and just stared at the ceiling and said, what the fuck did I
y'all
just watch?
y'all need fire. I mean, honestly, if they just burn the Wicker Man at the stake and then this all the, you
Yeah,
know what?
he'll
I'm gonna
catch
call it.
on fire.
I'm gonna call it. Here's how the movie's gonna end. All the men are gonna burn the Wicker dude at the stake, and then all of the women are gonna go to Peter Dinklage's
The
Peter
guy and
all
have them make
make
their wicker men.
Wicker Men to overtake the town, and then all the women are happy, and all the men are doing good
If
work.
that's actually how it ends, Sam, I will give you $10.
I will take you up on there. You heard it on stream. Will I watch the movie
Yeah,
to find out? Probably not, but I will look up the
yeah.
ending.
If you want that $10, you're gonna watch it.
Shit. Okay. So I have to watch it, and if it ends like that, I get $10.
Heck, if we have to, I'll watch it with you just to make sure that you fully keep up with your end of the bargain.
All right. All right.
I really don't want to watch this.
I don't, but if there's money on the line, I'll drag Griffin. He'll have to watch it too.
Oh, poor Griffin.
We're making a watch party out of this. Let's all get horny.
Oh, great. Horny fish.
Horny fish. No, this.
And that's enough about that one because I can't. Even just looking at the photo of this guy.
It's so like who like the script. They must have read it and understood like how dumb this is.
Yes.
Also, I've been watching some Doctor Who clips, and this is going to be out of fucking left field. But this particular look of like the Wicker Man, his hair is brown and has that kind of red tint to it. I see how he looks, and I just think of the Doctor Who depiction of Vincent Van Gogh. I know that's out of fucking left field, but that's like one of the things I think of when I see it. One of the things keeping me sane about this whole thing, but also like just taking my thoughts about this and leaning it towards this is probably going to be either just absurdist comedy or it's going to be
Yeah.
horror. I don't and if it's anything other than that, I'm going to be confused.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know which way they're gonna lean towards with that one, but
And I don't know if I want to find out.
you and Griffin will let me know for that
All
$10.
right, Griffin. I'll make a watch part. All right, if I get an easy access to this movie, I will make a watch party on the Discord.
If it doesn't end up on Tubi and it ends up on like
It
freaking Apple
absolute.
TV
Oh no,
or streaming
this movie
service, I swear.
this movie is Tubi coded as hell.
Yeah,
Look, I love Tubi, but I know that like it's a
they
lot
get
of
some weird ass shit.
they get a they get a lot of like new movies, but also just weird shit that it just stays on there forever. I see this; it's just existing on Tubi, and if this is a horror movie, Shudder. Like,
Yeah, no, seriously. It'll be up there with the final. Well, no, I would say it'll be up there with VHS too.
oh no, I'd rather watch. I'd rather. I don't want to. I was about to say something I might regret.
Or maybe not 2. I think it was 3 was the worst one. I think we
Viral, yeah.
decided.
I was actually about
Yeah,
to say I was about to say I'd
yeah.
rather watch Viral than this, but then I was like, would I though?
Nah, eh,
Mm,
maybe.
I haven't actually
Maybe
seen
not.
this yet. It's like watch Viral
Because
again.
Viral was really horny. So,
Yeah, Virals has one section that's almost good.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
still awful, but
uh-huh.
yeah. But would you rather rewatch? I would love to rewatch Beware the Blob over this, and that is including the uh, the uh, the naked Russian Shriner in a bathtub, because there is literally a scene in that movie that like stopped my brain for a second, where it cuts to a naked Russian Shriner in a bathtub playing with his rubber ducky, and holding on to it for longer than it should have. And my brain short circuited, and I know my brain short circuited because I was talking with Checker on at the time, and as soon as I saw it on screen, I went and just went quiet as I stared at it for a second, and then I was like, huh. Yes, I would much
But
rather watch that again, knowing that it's not a good movie, than watch Viral. And I'd
Tony
probably
Frankenstein.
or, or know which movie ever legit almost drove me insane. There you go. Beware,
Yeah.
Beware the Blob almost drove Griffin insane.
Yeah, but I don't think Wicker is going to help you either.
No, I'm willing. Okay, I'm willing to watch it with people. Definitely not in theaters.
No.
And with
I
the
want to know. Okay, Sam, let's make a small like bet not based on money though.
not based on money.
You get bragging rights if you're right.
Okay.
How many people do you think will get kicked out of the theater while watching this movie because of public nudity or indecency?
Mm, it's gonna be more than zero.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. I will say
Griffin bets 4.
Griffin says four. I'm thinking about this as realistically as I can, and I think it's the only ones that's gonna be an issue for are going to be middle-aged women.
Yeah.
And most of the ones that are these cases are going to be either in the Pacific Northwest or more likely Florida. But so I'm going to say I'm gonna say 3.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking 3 or 4 myself.
You could
Maybe 2,
you
but that
could
would be the lowest. I don't think it would just be
no,
1.
it's gonna be like I think 2 is the lowest. It's gonna be more than 0. It's going to be more than 0.
Hmm.
If you think we're lying, watch the trailer, and I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Hmm.
this this is no, this is to me as it's a different subject matter, a different kind of movie, but to me it still feels as exploitative as freaking great. Oh God, 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. In my defense, okay? In its defense, 50 Shades has a storyline behind it.
Yeah,
Yes, I understand that it's a play off of Twilight. But one, the soundtrack was really good in those movies. 2, you actually get like a full storyline to go with it. This, I do not see any storyline with this. I just see horny.
you just
Okay.
see horny.
And it's like early 1800s horny.
Yeah.
Like Pride and Prejudice and Frankenstein met horny and had a baby.
For context, like what was it? Worthington Heights is another movie trailer that came out recently. That one is literally about an affair, and that trailer looks less horny than this.
Yes. So if we're gonna go based on that, no. 50 Shades is much better. Yes, is it weird because it's about BDSM and like freaking
Yeah,
domineering shit? Yes, it's weird. But the entire movie is not sex. This looks like every single time we hit a nighttime, there's gonna be sex.
yeah, yeah. But honestly, I don't want to look at this thing's face anymore. I'm gonna move on to the
I
next.
told you I don't want to look at it.
Okay. I forgot I strategically placed this trailer after that just to ground me.
Yes.
The trailer for Below
One that actually looks good.
is more very likely a monster movie. I'm going to say very
I
likely,
have no idea which way they're gonna turn that.
but that's good. Like to me, that's good
That's
though.
great though. Because I was thinking of our conversations, Sam, about past trailers for like monster movies and stuff, and how we don't necessarily like the trailers where they show what it is,
Yeah,
what the monster is, or what it's about.
like if there's a reveal tied to this, I want to see it when I watch the movie, not in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like this actually did that well, despite it being a Netflix based movie.
Oh, Netflix is winning a lot of high praise from people. Like, uh, I'm following along the story, all the stories going on with like Paramount, Netflix, WB, A24 as closely as I can. I think Netflix is like conceding that they lost the battle to bid for Warner Brothers like Discovery, but
Hmm.
they immediately started to win the war. And they're making moves left and right. Like the last time we talked, we learned that they have the exclusive distribution rights to Common Rider. So and now that and this shows that they're still making these like more niche movies. So like Netflix is turning into a powerhouse, and people can have views on Netflix. They're turning into a one of the most just big name modern studios.
Yeah. Which is interesting because I remember when Netflix, you used to get 3 DVDs in the mail.
Yeah, humble beginnings that ended up ruining Blockbuster. Those fiends, but
No, I know.
yeah, but you know, I'm a sucker for a good monster movie, and this is very like all things considered. This is either very likely a monster movie, or it's going to be just a conspiracy where the people think it's monsters and it's something more mundane. Either way,
Hmm.
um, I want to see this. Like this,
Yeah, I want to see this too.
like I temporarily paused my Netflix subscription, but I am picking it back up soon so I can watch this movie,
Yeah.
but also keep it active because there's things on Netflix I want to rewatch. Like I had, don't worry, I was able to watch the subjects of the main thing before I paused my Netflix subscription. Don't y'all worry now. But yeah, well, this looks good. I can't wait for One Piece season 3. I can't wait for the One Piece. I can't wait for a lot of movies and Netflix and
All
Tubi.
the One
Yeah,
Piece.
all the One Piece. I yes. Also, there's Tubi, and I well, go watch Tubi. Tubi is free.
Yeah, Tubi is good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this looks really, really good. If you're Griffin, I know you're a
Yeah.
monster buff. If you haven't seen the trailer for Below yet, watch it. I, I get that same just vibe of positivity I got with Beast of War. Whereas this, I love that they're taking just these monster movie concepts more like serious. Like
Hmm.
recently, I saw a trailer for a movie called Kraken, which does look good. I do want to see Kraken, but to me, it's more in line with a Troll Hunter, uh, or
Okay.
that Netflix troll movie.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it is a monster movie at its heart, and yes, there is more. There's some themes and some good character in there, but Kraken looks like it's going to be just more about, at least still, about like the thriller aspect of it than the actual character driven. Below looks like a very character driven movie.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. It kind of gave me some of the same kind of vibe as Jaws a little bit.
Yeah,
And I like that because, Jaws is a classic. It will always be a classic.
I I know that I've heard talk recently, sometimes from YouTubers, sometimes from people I know, how like modern movies, or maybe it needs to be like modern versions of these classics, not so much in like we don't need a remake of Jaws or anything, but something that has a
Yeah.
similar impact for the modern generation. I agree we need one, but I've heard some people say that, oh, Nope is just modern Jaws, which no, no,
No,
very different.
no,
Like
agreed.
like if anything, it's modern. Honestly, it's closer to being modern Cujo, but that's the like, but that's a go.
Accurate.
That goes into spoilers for if you've seen the movie. But I think it's just its own thing. This though, yeah, no. Will it be a landmark success that inspires everybody? Probably not. That's just one of the realities we have about being on Netflix right now. Unless this hits
Hmm.
theaters, it will hit an audience and it will do well. Probably not, unless it's like an oddity like K-pop Demon Hunters. There's just not much of a chance this will just break through and just break the internet. So I think this will do good. It just won't be a cultural landmark. Like
Yeah,
unfortunately, we're in this time where things have to, they don't have to just be great. They have to be like beyond perfect if they want to be these cultural landmark films, or they need to be just the worst things ever. They need to be an extreme. And I could talk about how that I think that's kind of ruined a general audience perception of movies, and
yeah,
removed our ability to enjoy things just that are just kind of silly, or things that are decent but not bad, and just created this weird black and white view of either a movie is amazing or it's dog shit, and I think that's awful. That perception of movies is awful. But when I see this trailer, do I think it's going to be this Oscar-winning, wonderful movie that should win all the awards? Probably not.
no,
I
but
see a competently made monster movie, or at least a competently made thriller about something going on in this coastal town, and I'm excited to see it.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll be interesting. I forgot when this one is coming out. I kind of wish it was coming out like really soon so that it was still kind of summery.
Actually, it is coming out fairly soon. It's coming out this October,
Okay.
October 8th. It's going to be on
So
Netflix October 8th.
spooky
So
season,
if this is a monster movie,
but
I want to do some more streaming, like movie nights on the Discord on October for spooky season. And if this is a
yeah.
monster movie, I will probably do that with this. But wait, oh, it's not a, oh wait. So I one thing I will say it oh, no way. Okay.
Mm.
I've been something saying one thing inaccurately, and I've had a wrong mindset about this. I'm gonna go on as a, ooh, this actually makes me more hyped for it. It's not a movie. It is a series.
Oh,
It is a 6 episode series. This makes me more excited because one of my favorite underrated things that come out of the Sci-Fi Channel is this thing called Peter Benchley's Creature, which is basically two movies that come together in a series.
okay.
Like I like,
That'll be interesting.
ooh, I, okay, so it is a series, not a movie, but it looks competently made. I am now going to be to some extent comparing it to Peter Benchley's Creature, and I do like Peter Benchley's Creature. And if you want to see that movie, just imagine Giancarlo Esposito acting like an insane homeless person.
Oh God.
Like he is that is a character he plays. The guy who we know as being extremely serious and stoic plays an insane homeless person in there. It is, man. This wasn't. You look at it and go, "Oh wow, this was made in the '90s, huh?" but yeah, wow, Below looks good. All right,
Yeah.
next trailer. Alexa's favorite, Spider Island.
No, no, no.
Okay,
Sam, I'm mad at you for making me watch
I
this.
don't control what trailers come out.
I know you don't, but you control which ones you show to me.
Yes, and I also control which ones I want to talk about. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look, I will say I want to talk about this trailer. Ever since something was pointed out by a friend of mine, when it comes to like creature features, I think I'm probably the most picky about spider movies. Even though I
Yeah, I
also have
remember you talking about
even
this.
though I also have like a mild arachnophobia, but again, it's very
Only
mild.
mild.
It's mild to the point where like if I see a spider, it does nothing. But if there's a spider I know is poisonous and it takes a step near me, like that's the like that's where my arachnophobia is. Like
See, this is my level of arachnophobia because I was watching this trailer, and as soon as the first spider pops up in the trailer, I get like tickles all over my body,
it's bad for you
and
then.
it makes me feel sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I feel itchy, and I don't like it. I really hate spiders.
So okay, I know you don't like spiders. When I watched this trailer though, I don't think this movie is going to be scary.
No, I don't think it's going to be serious at all.
It's not going to be as goofy, but like there is a movie back when MTV made movies. I know. They literally did a movie called Monster Island. Again, I know. MTV made a movie called Monster Island. What could that even be? Pamela Anderson was in it. But it was unapologetically bad to the point where literally their spider, I'm pretty sure, was a Party City prop that they just kind of raised and lowered.
Yeah.
But the plot of that movie and just the tone of the actors, I get the exact same vibe from this, just with a bigger effects budget. And part of that is this when there's multiple spiders on screen, they almost don't look like real spiders, and not just because they're like the CG effects, it's that they're just like black dots with like cartoonishly long legs. And I'm just like, well, that's just silly. Like there's a part of me that sees that just like
Yeah.
so this isn't like arachnophobia or itsy bitsy where like they painstakingly make it, even though it's not a real spider, they make it look as real as possible, or they just straight up use real spiders. This isn't like those. We don't get like everything is like exaggerated to a cartoonish degree about these things. So yeah, it's probably technically a horror comedy, but it's really leaning more on the comedy.
Yeah.
And I also want to air quote comedy.
Yeah. Like stupid
J- J-
comedy.
Jumanji looks funnier, but
Yeah.
say that what you will. I think a lot of dude bros are gonna find this hilarious, but literally everyone else is just this looks
Gonna be
dumb.
like, ew.
I don't think this looks gross or this looks dumb. And oh, actually, you know what? Here's a good comparison: Jersey Shore Shark Attack.
My God.
Think of the title, and then think about what you saw with Spider Island, and you think, oh, it's going to be the
Yeah.
exact same kind of movie. But
Yeah. I could see that.
like, I just I wanted to the main reason I wanted to talk about this is not because it looks good or looks it's scary. And would I watch it? Definitely not in theaters. This would be if somebody else ever had just a riff on probably kind of thing. But it just it looks dumb. 'Cause we were
Yeah.
on such a hot streak with good creature features and monster movies. I guess this is the
And then they
obligatory,
made this.
and I guess this is the obligatory awful one. Try to bring us back to reality. So how can you help? Oh, easy. Go watch Below on Netflix. Go see the Godzilla movies in theaters that are coming out, and ignore this. That's all you got to do. Just don't see it.
Hmm.
That's
Yep. Yep. Don't worry, I won't. Because if I see those things on the big screen, I would actually
Lex.
have a
The
panic
only
attack.
okay. I know you have a fear of spiders, Lex, and I will say this on stream. The only spider movie I ever legitimately want you to watch is Eight Legged Freaks, because it is also a horror comedy, but it is actually a funny horror comedy. It it is so stupid. It's kind of funny. It does.
Maybe, maybe for Halloween, like how we watched Killer Clowns last year. I'll
I
make a deal with you. I will watch one movie that is supposed to be funny, but will freak the hell out of me because I'm afraid of the main thing in
I
it.
will happily watch Eight Legged Freaks with you, and I will tell you right out the gate, there are some scenes that are to be interpreted as kind of scary, but there's so many for every scene that's it's scary. There's like four scenes that are just hilariously dumb or just hilarious.
Okay.
Like,
I'll do that with you, Sam. We'll make that a Halloween
all
tradition
right,
now.
so far on the October docket for this year on the Kaiju Discord, we have Eight Legged Freaks and potentially Below. We're building up the roster now, everybody.
Ooh.
All right.
And VHS 99.
VHS, there's 98, 89, and 85. Is there a 99? Oh, no. VH
99.
90, what? 99?
Yeah.
It is 99. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
That one's my favorite.
It's because it has the nurse lady.
Yes, even though I hate that scene.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're absolutely right. 99, 85, and 89. Okay. Yep, okay. I understand now.
told you.
All right. Um yeah, I'd be happy to watch more VHS movies, but yeah, Spider Island. This looks dumb. Like,
Stupid
looks really stupid.
and horrible.
But let's end on a good. I think this is the last trailer I had to talk about. I think there might be one more,
Yes.
but Violent. Let me look at the list I have here.
Violent Night 2.
Violent Night 2. If you haven't seen the first Violent Night,
I haven't.
oh, it's
I
so
can tell
good.
you, though, that based on this trailer, I might.
I have it on Blu-ray. I will happily stream this and stream it and Krampus like for you like during the holiday season. It is so funny. It 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 is so good.
Deal.
Uh, uh, Also, just the reveal of Mrs. Claus in the trailer, just
I
fate.
know. That's what really sold me on it. I was like, you know what? Yep. Yep. Like, I was already getting kind of sold on it, but then they had her come out, and I was like, you know what? Yeah.
What's Mrs. Claus like? She's a freaking Valkyrie, basically. Oh,
Yeah, she's a Valkyrie that'll fucking kick your ass. That's who she is.
yeah, yeah. Violent Night is a R-rated Home Alone where Santa goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
The fact that he gets put on the naughty list.
Like, why are you on the naughty list? I don't know. Maybe I killed one too many people.
One too many people in front of the kid.
Oh man. Oh, I I don't know what else I can say to high praise this trailer because yes, this is a sequel. It's contingent on whether or not you've seen the first one, which is basically, as Griffin said, R-rated Home Alone. But this feels like it's expanding on that concept and just in a weird way the consequences to what actually happened in the first movie.
Yeah. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, I love it too. I don't mind stories being weird. I just want their whatever logic they have in their world to be consistent. So if there's a
Yeah.
sequel to something, I want it to be the consequences or follow up of whatever happened in the first iteration. And this feels like the consequences or follow up to whatever happened in the first movie. And I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
Like I my suspension of disbelief is powerful. For God's sakes, I watched Godzilla and Super Sentai. But so it's like I'm willing to buy just the most bullshit explanations for things as long as it fits within their narrative and world. Like it's whatever. Santa Claus being on the knives because he killed someone. Yeah, no, that tracks.
Yep. Mrs. Claus coming to back him up. Yeah, sure.
Mrs. Claus having a freaking sword.
I love it. You know me. I love the classic sword fighting scenes. They make me happy.
I thought you're
As a fencer, they make me
as a
happy.
fencer. So for some reason, I thought you were gonna say you love women actors, and my brain went so far to autocomplete that because one of my favorite stupid jokes that comes out of one of the channels I watch is whenever they bring up just women actors or just women doing something in movies or doing a good role. It's some guy who's kind of a snarky butt just replies, "Yeah, we love women in STEM." So just out of fucking
No, no.
nowhere, and just like it relates to fucking nothing. So when you said "I love," I already had the auto completed. I love women in STEM. Just
No.
ready and waiting.
Oh, Sam.
I'm sorry. It was dumb, but
You're good. But yeah, no. I would see it.
I would too. This looks really fun. But that's it for the trailers. Now it's one more thing to talk before the main event. New and recent films. I have one thing to talk about, but do you? And I know you saw something recently
Yeah.
in theaters. Would you like to go first?
Uh I can. This past week I went and saw in theaters at the IMAX the Odyssey, and all I can say is wow. It was absolutely fantastic. If anybody has not seen it yet, I would highly recommend it. Even if you haven't read the book, which a lot of people don't because it's over 1,000 pages. And as Sam knows, and most people in our friend group know that know me, they know I'm a big book person, hence my character on the stream.
She's the book
Um,
ghost.
but I want to say that I think this is the best book to movie adaptation that has ever been made. Yes, they are missing certain things out of the book, but what do you expect? It's 1,000 page tome of a book.
Yeah. If
You're
every
not going to get every single event that happens, but the feel of it, the characters, the building of things, it was done almost exactly as how you read it in the book.
yeah.
It was fantastic.
If everything in the Odyssey was in this movie, it would be 5 hours long. Let's just be
And
honest
I
about
would
that.
totally be there for it. I would. But I know a lot of people would get bored.
If you want to see the more grandiose portions of this, watch Epic the Musical, which I know you should watch. It's good. But if you want
Yeah.
just the more grounded story of the Odyssey, as told by Christopher Nolan, which is very good, this is a great movie.
The
I,
soundtrack, fantastic. The fight scenes in the movie, fantastic. You can tell that they genuinely put a lot of thought and effort into building this film. But Sam,
Mhm.
what movie would you like to talk about?
I recently saw a certain web slinger in theaters.
I
So
never would have guessed.
I thought Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Um, I honestly, and I talked about this briefly with a friend of mine, but I was more hyped to see this than I currently am for Doomsday. I do want to see Doomsday. Do want to see it, but I did really want to see this more because I'm curious how it connected to everything and how they were going to continue the MCU. I've said it a dozen times before. Some people are probably tired of me saying this on stream, but I firmly believe that the MCU should have ended with Endgame and needs to end with Secret War. Not like the end as a whole. I want them to keep making Marvel movies, but the whole convoluted continuity they have just this just follows a straight and narrow that where you have like required viewing of movies before you see the next one. That needs to stop with Secret War. So
Yeah.
you almost watch the Odyssey in standard format over IMAX. Is this true? And if so, why? Please explain.
Oh
Lex.
my God. Yes, as most people know, I do not always go to the movies very frequently. I maybe see one, maybe two movies a year. But yes, I was going to go and see it in standard format and then instead got into going to the IMAX theater by my significant other. So, yeah, yeah. And yes, it is worth it to go and see it in IMAX.
It is. Yeah. If you can't see it at IMAX, you have to go see it in regular. It's fine. It's was shot in IMAX and is better in IMAX, but things are expensive. But so,
Exactly.
but yeah,
I would go and see it again in the theater, though. I'm not going to lie. I might go and see three movies this year because I might go and see that again.
yeah. There's a few movies that I want to see throughout the remainder of the year that I'm going to see some of them, um, including next at the next podcast I'll have a review ready for End of Oak Street, and then the one after that I'll have definitely the White Dragon and possibly Coyote versus Acme if I can find the time. But
There you go.
but
But back to Spider Man.
back to Spider-Man. It was very very good. I would when I've had time to think about it, I don't think it's as good as the last Spider-Man movie, Far From
That
Home.
was Far From Home. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't think it was quite as good as that one, but it was. But Brand New Day has much smaller stakes comparatively, and it's almost
Hmm.
a good breather because of that. Um, without going into spoilers, there is a Spider-Man story I am aware of, and when I saw the trailers, I thought we were going to go really far with that. So I'm slightly disappointed they didn't go as far as I wanted them to with that, but that's more of a nitpick. What I did see in the movie is still very good and handled very well, and everything fits. I was very surprised with the villain, and I will not be saying who the villain is because it's kind of a big spoiler for upcoming projects.
Hmm.
Like this is something that is worth watching that people should watch. Like it's sort of like I think some of the better like MCU films in recent times are Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and Fantastic Four. I think those are very very good compared to the movies that came before. It makes me happy and a little more excited for Doomsday because I'm just like, all right, we're doing Doomsday and then just followed by Secret War, and then in between Vision Quest will be on Disney Plus. So let's keep up the pace. Let's end this at least somewhat strong, please.
Yeah.
So I'm crossing my fingers for Doomsday. This made me. It doesn't lead us directly into Doomsday as one would think. Kind of a spoiler, kind of not. Um,
Hmm.
it does kind of hint of like Spider-Man's place in those movies. that I won't be getting into, but I'll just say there is a single after credit scene. Only one. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, it's worth, but yeah, it's worth a watch. It is a much smaller stake Spider-Man movie, but because of that, I think Marvel kind of is getting the hint that yeah, we don't need these movies to be these grandiose save the world, fight an army. I don't know, maybe just Spider-Man fighting off a few guys in this very more down to earth story is what we need to do. One of my favorite Marvel movies is still Captain America: Winter Soldier, strictly because of that.
I do love that one.
Yeah, I love it
I mean,
because yeah,
he is your friendly neighborhood
yeah,
Spider-Man. So yeah, they should stay true to the feel of Spider-Man.
yeah,
It's a teenager fighting off criminals and bad guys in his area.
yeah. He is the friendly neighborhood spider. And yeah,
Mhm.
this trailer, the movie does kind of keep up with that. And there is another MCU character. No, he's in the trailer. This isn't a spoiler, but Punisher plays a bigger role in this movie than you'd think.
Hmm.
And I think that alone and like their interaction kind of goes a long way to show like how much they're kind of spreading out the MCU without muddying the waters too much.
Yeah.
No, I, yeah, yeah, Odyssey, highly
Yeah.
recommend it. If you could see it in theaters, do. Spider Man, also
100%.
highly recommend it. It is even if you don't like Marvel, if you want to just see one Marvel movie, you don't want to see Doomsday, see Spider Man. See Spider
Yeah.
Man. It's disconnected enough from the main story where you can still watch this and have a good time movie, which is probably honestly a good thing. Probably why it's so popular is because there's outside of arguably the first three Spider-Man movies, you don't really have to watch any other MCU movie to enjoy
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
that gives me hope for the plans after Secret War that they're just going to move to standalone Marvel, which great, fantastic. When you do standalone and don't try to interconnect the bullshit and just let crossovers happen organically, it works better. But
It works much better.
yeah, yeah. But with that, I guess it's time to get to our main topic of the day: the life and times of Benoit Blanc.
Blanc.
For those who aren't aware, there's three movies that exist. There is Knives Out, Glass Onion, and Wake Up Dead Man. They are all stories in the Knives Out series, basically about this detective Benoit Blanc, who, well, trying to solve all these different cases like murder, theory, just whatever. He gets directly involved, and I will say these are some of the best modern mystery movies ever.
Yeah.
Like, I,
Yeah.
I
I would say it is the modern version of Clue, if
yes,
anybody has seen that movie.
yes. To talk about them in order, the first one, I believe all three of these, if I'm not mistaken, and as of when I last checked, all three of these are on Netflix.
Yeah,
But
they are.
I once heard the first movie Knives Out described as it's a murder mystery that has you ask what's the mystery. And
Yeah.
as weird as that sounds, it's completely accurate.
Yeah. I I could agree with that.
It
I when I watched the first movie in comparison with the other two, I don't think I was expecting what I got.
No one was, and I kind of blame the marketing, but also I love and hate them, and also hate and blame the marketing for this because I really remember the marketing for Knives Out where it had like character posters for all of the members of the third row family or whatever their fucking family name is,
Yeah.
and each of
Yeah.
them had like a different knife on it, and
Hmm.
they're all like in front of like that big. basically knife chair, which is like the centerpiece of the whole thing, and you knew it was a murder mystery, but you never know who's dying, who's the murderer, what's going on. The whole thing is a subversion.
Yeah.
The whole thing, where like it starts out like you think exactly how it's going to be like a traditional murder mystery, but then something is revealed to the audience that just turns everything on its head, and you're just sitting there wondering like, wait, but is it, huh, how did,
Uh-huh.
like, it is a extremely well done mystery because it's a mystery that hides the fact that it's a mystery for a good chunk of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's also hilarious. But I will say about the
It
first,
is quite funny.
I will say about the first, just about the first movie, that I forgot how overt it was. But the first,
Oh,
but
100%.
but the first movie has some political speech in it about when the family is arguing about certain things that are pretty on the nose. Like one of, they don't say anyone by name, but they use terms like SJW and take off that red hat and look. And just like,
Mm-hmm.
like this is a movie that doesn't make a stance, but it has characters who make certain stances, and you're just, ooh. So be aware of that.
Exactly.
Be aware of that with Knives Out. But it is, oh man, I
It's
also,
a fun time.
so the first, you don't see the first one on Netflix. I'm gonna look up like what
Mm,
it was. I swear it was there. Let's see, where'd Stream Knives Out? I want to be accurate about this. I know Glass Onion and Wake Up Dead Man are on Netflix, and I think they're gonna be there forever because they funded those projects.
yeah.
But the first one, oh, I see it listed on YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. I have it on Blu-ray, so physical media is forever by Laserdisc. But
Yeah. Mm,
like, so that one, huh? I guess I'll have to check one of the other streaming services. Looks like Apple TV and Amazon are your best bets, or of
okay.
course buying the DVD. But Knives Out is great. Um,
I would say if you're going to watch it, make sure that you're able to like fully stay locked in on it for the first one at least, so that you kind of know what you're getting into on the last two that they had.
yes,
Because I know for me, when I first watched that, I was watching it with a group of friends, and they told me, "Yeah, you'll really enjoy this because you really like mysteries and stuff." And so I'm expecting like a classic mystery because like I had seen some of the trailers and I didn't get a whole lot from the trailers. And so I thought it was going to be more of like a classic mystery. You are getting bombarded the entire time in this movie with facts and clues, and you have to listen to the exact things that everybody is
mm-hmm.
saying. It's like playing Clue while watching a movie.
Yep. And there's in the first one. It's gonna be hard talking about these because these are movies I don't want to give a lot of spoilers on,
No.
because I don't
Yeah.
want to allude to about like who did it, who died, who's innocent, who's what. I don't want to allude to anything. It's also why I'm not really naming character names. I might name actors, like the first one has like Jamie Lee Curtis and some and a bunch of other actors in there
Hmm.
do
I
phenomenally.
mean,
But
on the third one, you know who I'm going to bring up, Sam.
I
So,
know, and we'll get there in a bit. But in the first one, like these are one of my favorite film principles is Chekhov's gun. Basic Basically the idea is why it's called Chekhov's gun is, think of a three-act structure. In act one, two people are talking in front of a fireplace and there's a gun hanging in front over the fireplace. By act
yeah.
three, that gun will be fired. Basically, do not present information unless that information becomes relevant. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't know how or why, but every piece of information is relevant.
Yeah.
even if it's just foreshadowing a funny scene later, even if it's just a way to just confirm a character's innocence, that it doesn't appear so at first, even if it's a throwaway line from an old person. And
Yep.
that's as a spoilery as I want to get about the first one.
And that happens a lot.
Like and honestly, like with the Knives Out trilogy in mind, before I go back to talk about the other ones, I will say, just side note, watch Sheep Detectives if you haven't already, because they're I know
Oh
this sound
god.
they're good mysteries for this very same reason, unrelated,
No.
but like I'm serious, I know, but okay, but but in the first movie, oh man, I really encourage everyone to watch these.
Hmm. They're a lot of fun. They are well thought out. They will keep you engaged until the credits roll.
Yeah.
It's if you like anything to do with like crime, mystery, like Clue, playing Clue, doing those mystery files that they have in the store,
Yeah.
that type of
Like
thing.
social deductions, that would
These
be
are
one.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You will have a lot of fun with these. Even if you don't like those things, though, and you like a good film with just a lot of character shenanigans, essentially,
Oh,
it's going to be a good film.
oh, this movie, Knives Out, does a great job at showing just in this. Each one goes through a specific scenario to kind of show the good and bad of people. Like the first one talks. I will say this because again, it's in the trailers for these movies, so not a spoiler. But I don't want to say more than this. But to
Yeah.
say there is an inheritance involved, and there,
Hmm.
this movie does a great job at portraying just how good, but also just how two faced and awful anybody
People
can
can
be
be
in these
when there's money
situations.
involved.
Exactly. Like, and there are people that like there's gonna be characters that you're just like, oh, I just want to root for them, and at later on in the movie they'll do something just like, man, I no longer want to root for you. What the heck?
I don't like you, actually.
Yeah. Like
But yeah,
when I rewatched the movie the first time, I think there is about two and a half characters that I legitimately like, and I think that's by design.
yeah, yeah, they definitely designed it like that.
Now, I mentioned that this first one could be described as a mystery that hides it's a mystery for part of the movie. The sequels start kind of. I think they're made smart enough to know that the audience, they kind of are expecting that. So
Yeah,
Glass Onion is my I think I agree with you on this, Lex, is my personal favorite of the three.
yeah, it's definitely my favorite.
Like I rewatched it for this, and I'm probably gonna rewatch it again later on, just in
Honestly,
leisure
I
time.
think I'm gonna go and rewatch it this week.
Yeah, but this one, oh man, I don't even want to spoil the mystery because there's a scene in the beginning where basically Benoit Blanc is playing Among Us with a bunch of his friends, and like I love
Yep.
the fact that he's this world famous detective, but he is terrible at Among Us because he expects these things to be extremely complicated. But so something as simple as I watched him murder someone, it's clearly him. Like he overthinks it and always does the wrong thing. But it's something,
Mm-hmm.
and without going into spoilers, it's like it's not. When something is so simple, it's not smart. It's just dumb. But
It's just
and
dumb.
that's already dipping into spoiler territory about Glass Onion. But that game and just how it treats mysteries and just how we view mysteries, and that's what it plays off of.
Mm-hmm.
And just like,
Well, and it makes me think of all the times when our group has played Among Us.
Yeah.
and how many times we try to convince each other of the truth, but then it never actually ends up happening.
Chaos, chaos. Still a funny line.
Uh-huh.
It is still a funny line, Griffin. That's why Glass Onion's my favorite because people had the expectation and it still circumvented it. Plus, I got to see Dave Batista as a freaking influencer dude, bro. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, this isn't a spoiler, but like the scenery of the location that they're
Oh,
at
it's
is so
gorgeous.
beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Like,
It just sells me on the entire movie. It seems like anytime a movie takes place at the beach or somewhere near a beach, I'm going to love it. And I think this holds true for this movie.
yeah. Like, I know it sounds like I'm not saying a whole lot other than like, oh, the scenery looks great, the characters are great, David T says this. This is the problem. Like, we'll talk about mystery movies. Is the more I say about the characters and motivation, or
The more it's
even
going to
the more
spoil.
it's going to spoil. And with these in particular, I can't even say what the mystery is because then you're going to turn on, you're going to see something different, and then you're expecting the mystery I tell you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, it, it, like that's
No, it's
part.
going to be very vague in this part of the episode.
The only one I could kind of talk about the mystery because the mystery isn't exactly what it subverts is the third one, Wake Up Dead
Uh
Man.
huh. Yeah.
Because Wake Up Dead Man, there is a murder, and that is the mystery involved. But the
Yeah.
subversion involved with the murder has less to do with the murder itself and more to do with the murderer, the motivation, and everything else around it.
That's all we're going to say about that.
it. For those who've seen the trailer, just know there is a religious element to the movie,
Yes.
and the movie takes, in my opinion, a very mature and
Tone.
very nuanced tone in regards to its stance on religion. It is not strictly anti or for it, and I
Mhm.
highly respect the movie for that. And when I rewatch Wake Up Dead Man and think about a certain character's decision at the end about what they reveal and what they don't, I don't know. I think I might have done the same, but I don't know. It's one of those morally complex decisions where, like, when you think about it, you understand fully why they did what they did and why they said what they said, and you know the consequences if they said the other thing. It's technically true, but who would
Mhm.
that serve? Who would that would hurt more than it would serve versus the other truth. I Wake Up Dead
And
Man.
it has a great cast.
Oh, phenomenal.
I, Spoiler alert, not really, but Jeremy Renner is in that movie. And that sold me on that movie.
Yep. Yeah,
And I love
you got
that he gets a good role in this film because I think all of the actors and actresses in this film help to bring the story to life. And I know that could be said about literally any movie ever, but they all just play such interesting kind of, what's a good word for it? Kind of like weird characters.
yeah. Uh, to think about these are mystery movies that their biggest strength is not the mystery themselves. It's still handled well, but it's more about how it subverts the how we treat mysteries, how we view mysteries, and what we expect
Mm-hmm.
from mystery. Like
Yeah,
that's why I love these movies as much as I do. And like one of my favorite anime growing up is Conan because you could easily follow along the episodes and guess the killer along with Conan. I still like that series because of that. So I always have this fondness for mystery. But I love the direction these films take and how it handles the genre, how it handles the concept of murder mysteries, and how we treat them. Like
I agree. I'm a huge fan of murder mysteries, and this gives like a mixture of Agatha Christie, Clue, in the modern day mystery.
and the best part is, you can watch all of these movies. You can watch these movies out of order. Like the
Yeah.
only recurring thing about these movies is the character Benoit Blanc. Is he is a famous detective in all of these movies. They exist in the same
Mhm.
universe. That's literally it. Like I think in Glass Onion, it's the other movie prior is referenced, but it's a single line. Nothing. There's no carryover.
Yeah.
Like these are just the detective stories of Benoit Blanc.
Hmm. It's like Hero, um, the character from Agatha Christie's novels, where you get the same detective, but they're all different. Every book is different, all the stories are different.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a set expectation going into it.
Yeah, like I said earlier that we crave like modern versions of these old classics. I would say Knives Out is a modern classic on par with Murder on the Orient Express.
Yep. Hmm.
Like that's my personal take on that.
I second that.
It was like I haven't read most of Agatha Christie's novels, and I mean that's just I'm not as big of a reader. Uh,
I know you're not a huge reader, Sam,
I still
but
have I still
that's
have
okay.
I still have the American Gods novel, and I've had to reread some of the stuff to keep catching on. And I'm trying to make progress. I am. I'm sorry. It's just for some reason, like whenever I try to like read a novel, it's hard to explain it, but like I think it's just an attention thing where like I'll finish a few pages and I'm just like, I
Uh-huh.
start just almost going cross-eyed in a weird way.
See, but you were doing really well with American Gods, and then
I
something happened.
I promise I'll finish it. I don't know when, but I promise I'll finish it.
By
But
the end of this year.
yes, oh yeah, yeah, no, uh, Knives Out. I know we can't say much about it because I want people to experience all of these mysteries as plainly and as unfiltered as possible. But
But just
watch them.
know they're a lot of fun. They're definitely worth a watch.
They're definitely worth a watch. And if nothing else, Daniel Craig is Benoit Blanc, and Daniel Craig's a great
Hmm.
actor.
Yeah, I definitely don't expect his accent throughout these movies because I'm imagining James Bond as I'm watching them. Like the first one, when I heard his accent, I was like, what the fuck?
You expect James Bond, and you get Colonel Sanders, but
Yes, exactly. And that's not a spoiler. That just, you get used to it as it goes on.
you get used to it. You really do. But yeah. But I think with that, this is again just a little shorter episode. I think we'll go ahead and close out there with that recommendation. Thank you for joining me, Lex.
Of course. I always love talking about the movies, and I know I've connected a lot of them that I've talked about to books, but as we know, books and movies go hand in hand. So,
They're two different mediums. Some things work as a book but don't work as a movie, and some things work as a movie but don't quite work as a book. Like,
agreed.
and we need to accept that any movie version of any book is going to be inherently different. But we need to judge them as separate, no matter how close they are and how close you think they should be. Like we,
Exactly.
but
But thanks for having me.
no problem. But before I let you
It's time for our favorite section.
yes, the wheel, the almighty wheel. If I can't,
Dun dun dun.
here we go. All right. So knocking off Benoit Blanc from the wheel, we have Ghost Rider in the Sky. That's just going to talk about the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies. Uh, little more information about those. It felt relevant to put that on there, considering the news about a new Ghost Rider movie we're getting last time. But yeah, other than that, we got popcorn buckets are weird. I don't know, just an episode talking about the weird uptick in novelty popcorn buckets and how some of them are a little eh. We have the Mummy, specifically the Brendan Fraser movies,
Yes.
the Heisei Gamera trilogy. I don't know, like I like monster movies, and I realized like I'm over 50 episodes into this podcast, and I haven't had a chance to talk about the one of my favorite trilogy of monster movies ever. We have a truly never-ending story. Basically, you have Never-Ending Story, one of my favorite movies of all time, and then this how the series gets progressively worse. We have a Kick-Ass Pair, which is just Kick-Ass 1 and 2, very good movies, and the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy, varying in quality, but generally all three good movies. But that's something to talk about. And of course, the guest decides. If it lands there, Lex will choose any one of these 7 topics, and that'll be the topic for next time.
Yeah.
So let's spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I guess I'd have to figure out my exact format for this anyway. I have to talk about novelty popcorn buckets next time. All right. I guess I'll make a slideshow for next time. We'll talk about how weird popcorn buckets. Yeah, Griffin, it's time. I All right, and for those in the Discord who want to be part of this, I have a chat for uh, basically people who want to be guests on the podcast. Just hit me up, and anyone who's part of this chat, I update it weekly with like what the next topic is and last calls. So yeah, people can join in. I want to get 2 guests for this one. I want to get it because this is going to be treated more than likely as just people riffing on popcorn buckets and just going through all the ones for each movie. Maybe a tier list, maybe just a riff session. I don't know. I got 2 weeks to figure out exactly what I want to do. I just know popcorn buckets are weird. So if you want to be a part of whatever the frick I do, hit me up. Should be a link to the Discord down below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there will definitely be a link to the Discord down below. But anyway, I will
Yeah.
I will I want to thank you all for stopping by to watch my ramblings on movies and everything truly important in the world of cinema from a certain point of view.
Agreed. Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
Bye.